pretty good handle on it very quickly.
Oh, well, he said exciting, and seeing a fire right behind him certainly
No.
adds to his show.
And it's always a very exciting time. Everyone loves it when the Cowboys come here, except for us well, not Redskins, Washington team fans.
Yeah, they changed that name, didn't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, they can't decide on another name, so they're just the Washington
They're just
team.
stuck
All
with it.
Washington. Hey, everybody looks like they're here.
Yeah.
Ellen said she came on early and went to get a snack. So, and we
Yes, I just got back from lunch, got back from the beach.
Wow, big day.
And Barbara, you're back. Barbara.
Oh, yes, yes, I did make it out of DFW, actually.
Did you have a great time?
I had a wonderful time, and the flight back got in at 6:30 in the morning in DFW, and my 8:30 flight kept getting pushed out. And finally, when the pilots got off the plane, I figured I better call American and get on another flight.
Oh,
So I
God.
got home about 2:30 yesterday.
Oh my.
But Hawaii
It's a
was
flight. It's
beautiful,
only
huh?
like a 40-minute flight, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Huh.
Anyway, the trip was great. Thank you.
Good.
And I
Sharon.
see
Hi.
Noelle
Sharon, you
is
got your
back from
hair.
her vacation.
I like your haircut, Sharon.
Oh, thanks.
Looks good.
Good, yeah.
I feel like I'm back in 8th grade. That's about the last time I wore my hair.
Well, you look that young. That's
And
good.
you look so young.
Try to look young somehow.
It's working, honey.
So,
Well, I know Jackie said she was going to be online, so I don't know where she is at the moment, but we have to have 4 to have a quorum, and we do have 4. So look, we can give it a minute or two. We're not late yet.
Trying to print everything out. Let's see.
Still coming, huh? Well, are people getting out more around y'all? Are y'all doing more than you've done before? Or are you still?
Oh,
staying
yeah,
home?
absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
We took our 4-year-old granddaughter to the Delaware State Fair yesterday,
Ah, well,
which we
that's
had never
good.
done. She had a great time. Yes, she did everything, and it wasn't crowded because it was during the day and it's hot. But I understand at night it gets busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, teenagers or other people.
How, your 4-year-old granddaughter?
The little one.
how fun.
Yeah, yes. The 1-year-old stayed home.
Good plan.
Aren't you glad?
Yes, he would have been miserable. It was so hot. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had grandchildren that young again.
Yeah.
My grandson that is 21 came over and spent the morning with me, and I had a whole bunch of stuff I was going to do, but I always put it aside because if I can get his attention like that,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want to waste it.
That's right. You can always do the other stuff later.
Of course, he every time he comes, he knows I'm going to say, "Do you need any money?"
And
So
he always says
I
no.
say, did he come to see me? Or did he come?
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. Well,
Noelle, I know
Yeah.
you've been busy. I've got all the notebooks laid out, and I'm waiting to hear. I have another grandson that my family, my daughter lives in Austin, and so we were going to go up. His birthday was yesterday, and we've actually already had kind of a pre-birthday thing, but we told him we'd come up. So yesterday we were talking to him, I said, I'm going to come up. I have to take some things, some notebooks up to the new incoming president, and I said, are you going to be working or are you going to be free? So we'll come either Friday or Saturday, and we could even come Sunday. And he said, let me get back with you. Well, I haven't heard a thing, but one of those days, whether he gets back to me or not, I'll give you a call.
Okay, sounds like a plan. I think I'm pretty well set. Anne gave me some wonderful go-bys when she was in my position, and so I've been plagiarizing a lot of that stuff.
Well, I got them all out. I got them out and looked at them. I really only have 2. I have Anne's and I have Joette. And I don't think that Jackie did one. I didn't get one from her.
Maybe not.
And but I hadn't looked at them in a while, and I thought, Dad, gum, I should have been looking at these all along. Boy, they are well done. So they're going to be a big help to you.
Good, good. Well, I'll make sure that's intact for when Lisa takes the reins next year. So
Okay.
she should be on here too, shouldn't she?
Who?
Did she ever get back with you?
I'm
Lisa-
sorry, I didn't hear who. Who you
Lisa
said?
Shar?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
sure,
should
get
be.
back with you.
So
It's been-
let me tell you what, I don't know what's going on. I got I don't know, any of you, a couple of women in the San Antonio bar auxiliary said they'd been trying to invite her to something and they are having a problem reaching her. So they contacted me and said, well, we know she's involved with ALA. Have you talked to her? And I said, not since several months ago. And I've texted her, I've called her. And so then I contacted a friend at TLA, and that they are concerned that TLA has not met in over a year and no one's heard from her. I don't know what's going on with
Well,
that.
I see her on Facebook periodically.
Yeah, and you know, when I sent out my initial letter saying this is what I have for the board, let me know if you want to be on it. She wrote back, she said, oh, I love this letter. Yes, I'm okay. You know, I've been homeschooling and finally everything's falling into place and I'm going to utilize this letter to do one for TLA. And I said, great, use whatever you want. You know, that's no such thing. And that's the last I've heard.
Well, there's some concern that TLA, since it hasn't met in over a year and a half and no one has heard from her, and she obviously is the president, whether we should contact the past president and say, there's no momentum, there's no plan for the September meeting. And, you know,
There's no president-elect either.
I know.
And
so
they didn't pay
TLA
their ALA dues this year.
Pardon me?
They didn't pay their ALA dues this year.
Did they get a reminder, Sharon? Did you send them a reminder?
I don't send reminders. I only collect money.
Well, maybe you could send them a
Nice
reminder.
job. Well, when Sue was, you know, as the nominating chairman, I talked to her and I said, you need to, occasionally I would get for like a coffee chat that she would RSVP yes. And I would think that she was going to be online and we could talk. But she never did actually participate in any of the coffee chats. So I gave Sue a heads up. She needed to make sure that she was committed to staying on. And then when I saw that she was included as president-elect, or president-elect, I assumed that she had talked to her, but because she knew that there had been a problem.
Yeah, I mean, she basically said she was on board for whatever she needed to do. So,
Well,
Well, she needs to be on this call. That's what she needs to do.
yes, and she's on this. I mean, she of course got the executive committee notice, but I don't know. I don't know. It puts us in a kind of a quandary. I mean, if somebody's willing to do it and says they are going to participate, then you have to trust that they're committed. But I would, based on my experience, I would say it's questionable.
Well, should she be on this one, or does she not become president-elect until after the?
She just stayed on as first vice president. I guess moved up to president-elect, right?
she will be.
She will in August.
Yeah.
But she's, as an executive board member, she is an executive board member as well.
Yes, she is.
Right,
So she should be on.
right, yeah.
Yeah, she's first vice president on this board,
Right.
but she was taking the president-elect.
Yeah, we need to maybe.
Somebody needs to contact her. Yeah.
I know at one time her father was very ill, wasn't he?
Yes,
That's what I remember. Yes.
and I don't know, he lived in Louisiana. I know for
Right.
a while, I had heard that she wasn't at home. She wasn't in Houston, that she was staying there, and I assumed that's where her father lived.
Right.
But I don't know that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that was some time ago, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. So it's about the last-
Well,
That's
Let's go
awkward.
ahead
Yeah.
and call the meeting to order since we do have 4 members of the executive committee present. We only have to have a majority of the 6, so we're okay with that. And Ann, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order as of, I didn't look at my watch, but about 2:09, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, right. I've got, well, I put 12, but I'll put the right, I'll put.
Whatever
I've got 3.
You can
Depends where you are.
And Ann, you want to go ahead and go through the minutes?
Well, I'm hoping that we don't need to read the minutes since I sent them to everyone at least twice, I think.
Yes.
So and maybe even 3 times, actually.
And
So,
I asked you to send them again and.
right, no,
already
I
sent
think the first set I set right after the last meeting was just to
Right.
you and you know, just a couple of people, but I have sent the full minutes. Does anyone have any additions, corrections, et cetera, et cetera?
Looks good to me.
I'm
Okay.
sure I read them, but I don't remember them. So there mustn't been any problem, no.
Well, if there's no additions or corrections, the minutes will be accepted as printed and that you have received and go on file. I have to say, Ann, you are a phenomena on these minutes. I use them so much and I think, did I say that? Sounded so good when you wrote it.
Well, I am, I tell you now, it actually is good because I'm helped by the fact that we are recording this. So I can go back and see what people did actually say. But I also recorded on my phone too, which sometimes is, you know, good too, just to get the, you know, thing. So I think I'm helped more than I used to be. Let's put it that way.
Well, they are outstanding and I read them thoroughly and they are my guideline for the next meeting and you just do such a wonderful job and you get them out so fast. And I was secretary for 3 years. I was Ann's secretary when she was president and I'm ashamed of mine when I see yours.
Oh,
But
no.
so I'm glad they're somewhere lost in those huge notebooks and no one ever will read them again.
Well, they do go back, you know, people, well, Noelle, I'm sure has gone back and looked at them and she's been, and that's one question, Noelle, you are putting, each time we send you minutes, you are going to put them online, right?
I will. It's kind of on my back burner to do.
Yeah, but yeah,
Younger
because
people. And I also have 2 big boxes from Jeannie Skilton from former minutes that are now lost, not lost, but they're in the bowels of my storage unit when I moved out of my house.
right.
I'll find them at some point. But yes, I will update with all these new ones on the website when I get set.
Could we talk, just, is this a good time now to talk about what other arrangements we should make? I mean, should we be keeping, you know, I can keep a set and then pass it on to the next, you know, send it all to the next secretary who, you know, not next year because I am the secretary, but, you know, when I don't do this, I mean, what does everyone think? Is it just sufficient enough to have it, you know, online, so to speak, when,
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
we've got at least 2 people.
okay, I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing here, you know, that's all.
Yeah,
But
think
I would probably forward, you know, the minutes from the previous year. I mean, the secretary, you know, when the secretary changes, it would probably be a good idea just to forward them the minutes of the previous year of all the things so they know what they're doing and that kind of thing, you know,
Mhm.
they don't have to go
well, if
online.
you- if
So
you-
we don't print them out anymore? Am I just being a dinosaur?
I mean, I have them in a file here too, you know, just
Printed.
in case. I
Right,
know I
right.
can't access them any other way, but I don't know. What do people think?
You know, if you keep them as a PDF, then anybody on any machine will be able to read them. So I
Right.
think that at least 2 people ought to have a copy of whatever the minutes are.
I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Physical copy, yeah.
Mhm.
I know,
Okay.
Noelle, at one point you were trying to put all this into, off of the paper into some kind of records.
I was going to try.
What a job that must have been. Where are you on that?
Well, I haven't even started.
Well, you want that time
It's going
now.
well, going well.
Jeannie brought me 2 boxes of past minutes, of all the minutes she had last March. And that was one of those rainy day things I was going to get going. And unfortunately, I just, decided I'm going to wear 25 hats at once. And it wasn't a real high priority. And
No.
when we moved out of the big house into the townhouse, 50% of my stuff went into storage, and that box got snatched up. So it's in the bowels of my storage unit, which looks like, I was telling Kitty, it looks like something out of Raiders of the Lost
I
Ark.
know, it sounded exciting. Why don't you go?
I will find them, and they will get uploaded. So have no fear on that. But yes, we have them. I have them. So they're not lost.
That's all that matters. That's
Good.
good. It's all good.
It's all good. Okay. Well, as long as y'all are happy with that, then they're not destroyed, but they're just temporarily indisposed.
Well, that's good. That's good enough for me.
Okay.
I know, I have the minutes that I kept for 3 years that I still have. And I do occasionally go back, check on some things, particularly agendas or remarks or something that might be relevant to what we're doing. But I think probably every secretary also has a set. If you're missing some, we can probably come up with them, but
Yeah.
what a
And
job.
I have some too.
Well, what I might do is go ahead and go through my basket of 30,000 emails and find the ones that you all have sent me and go ahead and get those uploaded that I have that are
Right.
digital. Because they're in my emails. I got them. It's just a matter of extracting them and uploading them. But yeah, I've just made a note. I will do that. I'm printing something out right now. So
You don't have to do it now.
no.
She's doing something else.
Okay. Well, all right, then the minutes have been approved, and let's move on to Sharon. Sharon, I know I promised you that I would not hold this meeting or hold a meeting at all during the ABA meeting in case your husband was using the Zoom. I hope we didn't we didn't.
No,
Great.
he's actually going to Chicago, and he's going on Monday or Sunday. So no,
So their meeting is not until August?
correct. Well, yes. Well, we would have been meeting, I guess right now, because we meet before the House of Delegates, and the House of Delegates is meeting on Monday. So it would have been this week, but we're fine. He's
Yeah,
not
and the-
going until Sunday.
And the
But if I-
directory, we would be meeting, where is this now? I just read it. July 29 to August 1. Oh wait, that's 2020. What year is this? I'm
No.
sorry.
It's 21.
No, we would be meeting August 8 to 10 in Toronto. Gosh, I don't know. We're doing fine.
Okay, well, I was concerned, we moved this around several times because obviously July is a big travel month for everybody, and finding a date that we could all get together, I knew might put you in a tight bind if your husband was using the computer, but
Yeah,
glad it didn't work out that way.
And although we are having thunderstorms, so if I get disconnected,
Yeah.
don't be too shocked. But
Ah.
We are having the same here, so thank you for sharing.
okay,
Well, then,
did everybody get a copy of the big spreadsheet that was supposedly sent out?
I didn't get that.
I didn't get it.
I haven't, so, but I got it from Ann.
I did too.
And I sent it to everyone else.
Let
It
me
didn't
look.
come through.
Okay,
I don't know why.
Oh, well, Kitty, I didn't send it to you because I was
But I
just
know it.
send it to the executive, but I can send it to you now.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
fine.
And I didn't have it because I don't think I'm officially on executive.
No, that's true too.
All right, well, I really wasn't going to go over where we stand so far this year, but it's on the report if you want to look at it. The thing that we tend to do at this meeting is look at the proposed budget. And so that's what I need to talk to everybody in case, because then the executive, I think, makes a recommendation to the board.
Yes, that's a part of the bylaws. It says in here that the executive committee shall prepare and recommend an annual budget to the board of directors. So we need to do that today.
Okay.
Do you
So
want to do
those
that now, or you want to put that down later when you report? Or you just go ahead and do it now?
Yeah, just do it now in case I have a connection right now.
Oh, that's right,
So,
lightning, right. Okay.
so those of you that have it, the proposed budget for next year, if we go over the revenue, is only $70 different than last year's proposed budget. And that, so I have individual dues of 625. We collected 675. I have 0 budgeted for lifetime member because I never know when someone's going to be a lifetime member. I have $400 budgeted for sustaining life membership, 240 for auxiliary. This year we collected 265. So, you know,
Good.
yeah. I have $50 budgeted for state auxiliary because I'm hoping TLA will pay next year. 200 for donations and 3,100 for contributions in memory or honor. And part of that is, will Lillian Jarvis's daughter pay another 3,000 next year?
I think
Barbara?
check.
No, but will she next fiscal year?
You mean?
How
for
many
year-
years was she going to do that?
I think it was for 5, and she should have sent you the check for year 2 already.
She did. She did. So, but that's why I have so much budgeted under contributions, and that comes up to 4620 in revenues. So then, I hate to go over this with some of you not having it.
I'm just trying to find it on my thing to send it to them. Hold on a second.
Okay.
You want to share
Well-
your screen, or do you know how to do that?
300, 300, 100, 100. All right, here's what I'll tell you. When I'm going over the expenses, I lowered the secretary's expense $25. I added the 3,000 for the Lillian B. Jarvis that wasn't in there the year before. Travel expenses. I'm looking, I added $100 for toy miscellaneous expenses.
Good.
50,
Would
20.
it be the frames I just purchased
And the flowers,
under miscellaneous?
and the flowers that we'll send to each one of the recipients before the event.
Okay. All right,
How much did you add for that, Sharon?
for what?
Miscellaneous expenses under toy?
I think the flowers were close to 50.
This year, I mean, this is the budget for next year, and I'm thinking next year we might have actual meeting, and so I budgeted for travel expense, winter guest meal.
Right, right.
uh,
But I'm just letting you know that I spent $73 this year
just
for
sent it.
frames.
That'll be fine. But so what I've told you so far, hardly anything I changed from what was in the budget for this year. I did lower, let's see, what was that?
Oh, but that doesn't include mailing this. It's gonna cost. I'll just
Okay.
send you the bill.
That's fine, that's fine. So there's very few things that I changed from last year's budget.
Sharon,
If-
did we have last year's budget? Did we have an expense for a roster publication?
We have,
I've got it now.
for the directory, we
Yeah.
have, I put $1,000 in for the next year.
Okay, thank you.
I did just send,
You did.
we're
Yeah.
looking at.
I've got it, thank you.
Open it.
Letter.
Am I not looking at the right thing?
Okay. You got this sheet of paper? Yes. So this year's budget, it says 2021 budget, proposed budget's over here.
Ah, okay, it didn't come out on the same paper, that's fine. Hold on.
Okay. And so when you're looking at what's changed from last year,
Mhm.
the expenses changed. The budgeted expenses went up about $4,000. 3,000 of that is the Jarvis Award that wasn't in the budget 2 years ago. Okay, I mean, when we made the budget a year ago, we didn't know that we were doing it. So so there's very little change in anything else. I raised the $50, the tax prep, because I'm going to try a different tax accountant because mine retired. And I don't know what the price will be.
Mm.
But so those of you that are looking at it, you can see that very little's changed from last year. I guess what I need to, if anybody knows of anything new or unusual that's going to happen this year, I did put $1,500 in for a meeting because I know we'll have at least one meeting, maybe two. We're planning on San Antonio. I could put more in for
Well,
meeting.
we would need for the main meeting, I would presume, hopefully by that time, we'd have our annual meeting. Wherever.
So I can put another 15, did we budget 1,500 a meeting? I couldn't remember it was 750 or 1,500.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I can check that out.
Would that be for like equipment rental and things like that?
Yes.
Or meeting setup? Lucy would probably get a better idea for what that would run, I would think.
Lucy would.
We will
Why
have some more money in postage.
Okay, why don't I talk to Lucy and warn her that at the annual meeting, we'll be presenting the budget and how much she thinks she'll need for budget for the two meetings.
The expenses from when we were in Chicago the last time, because I'm sure it'll be in Chicago next time.
The annual meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to Lucy about that. And so she'll be prepared at the annual meeting to say if she wants a change in the budget. Is that okay with everyone? I did.
I mean, according to, we are going to be in Chicago, according to the ABA listing, that it is for 2022, so.
Okay, and I did leave $1,000 in for marketing. We didn't really use that this year.
Well, we used quite a bit, I guess, to buy brochures. Was that this year's cost? I don't know, Noel.
Have you sent me a bill for that?
Noel, do we send her a bill?
Yeah, you paid me.
Oh, and you paid her.
It was,
Sounds
it was like 200 and something dollars for 1,000 brochures, which are all in that vast of storage facility. I actually had to have a few more printed up because I've got some handy that I had reordered that cost me a little bit, but I figure I'll eat that one since I'm hiding them in the first place.
That's okay.
I don't know where I put that. When did I pay you that?
I don't know.
Because I don't have it. I don't have it under marketing.
Would it be on the year before? No. Huh?
It was, we had them printed up. Gosh, all right, hang on.
All right. Don't worry about it. I will look it up while we're doing other things in this meeting.
I'll look, okay.
Okay, but I
Okay.
left 1,000 in just
Okay.
because it's what we put in the budget for this year.
You know, you've got, excuse me, you've got under brochure printing, was that what we were talking about?
Yeah.
Membership brochure printing, $318.
That's what it was.
And it's on here, but it's not under marketing. It's under brochure printing.
Yeah, it's line 44.
I don't have numbers on my lines.
I don't have line number. It says brochure printing.
Oh, it says
Membership brochure, right under meeting Austin.
You have to tell me that. Okay, membership directory.
Above directory.
Now, that's different.
Yeah,
membership brochure printing, which
You
is
got
right.
it.
Directory
Direct.
printing and the brochure printing are two different line items.
okay, membership brochure, that was a year ago.
That was about right, because we did it right after the Austin meeting.
All right, then that's why I'm confused. Okay, because it wasn't in this year. It was in a year
Oh,
ago.
You're right, you're right.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
We just don't know what year it is.
You know, we
I
had.
know, I already said we're in 20, so, okay. All right, so I guess what I'm telling you is that I just wanted to present this in case executive had any other things they knew that we should do. I will talk to Lucy about meetings, and then other than that, we can just recommend then to the board that we're going to accept this proposed budget. Okay?
Yep.
It
There may-
shows,
Some of the other committees, I don't know that any of them would have, I can't think of any offhand that would have any expenses. But it's possible when we have our general meeting that we will have some committee chairs who may have some things they want to include or present as an option for us. But
we almost always do.
Yeah.
Somebody wants something changed, and that's fine. I can do that. This shows a lot of money being spent. It shows that we would have to pull out 29,000 from CAR, but we rarely have to pull out as much as we budget. And this year so far, and I think it's all we're going to have to pull out, we've only pulled out 13,000 for the whole year.
Oh,
Because,
wow. That's
and
good.
considering we gave 9,000 to teachers
Right,
and
right.
6,000 to
Auxiliaries.
auxiliaries,
it
We
was
act-
on 4.
oh, 4.
But we spent
So that's the 13,000, 9 and 4.
Oh,
Oh,
there you go.
So we broke even, basically. Okay, that's all I have.
all right, we will then, I had talked to Jackie yesterday. The CAR committee will be meeting and she's going to call that meeting at 1 o'clock on the 11th before we convene again after the toy presentation. I thought Jackie would be here today. I know she's chairperson, and you reminded me again that I'm not chair. I'm only a member, but I talked to Jackie, and since I thought she'd be here, I told her that that Barbara could just present the CAR,
Right.
an overview of what's happening with CAR, and that you will be meeting at 1 o'clock on the 11th for the, I
Okay.
guess, the full
11
committee.
Pacific, okay.
Is that?
That's
allocate-
1 o'clock central.
1 o'clock central on the 11th.
Are you allocating a whole hour for CAR?
No,
Is that
Barbara,
right?
as my understanding is, there's not that much other than just the report, because there's no action to be taken, as I understand. Is that correct?
Well, okay, hold on, because I've got the annual meeting set up at 2 o'clock Central Time on
Right.
whatever day that is,
The 11th.
the 11th. I've
Toy
got,
at
Oh,
11.
no, wait, no,
we
that's
reconvene
toy.
At 1. Isn't that correct, Noel? Isn't that what we have?
We have the toy awards at 11, and then we were going to start the annual meeting at 2.
right.
Aha, we've changed this many times. I have it down at 1, but
We could start off the annual meeting with CAR. It's going to take 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Can I just make
Sure.
sure everyone understands? We actually have 3 meetings.
Right.
right.
We start with maybe we're going to start with the CAR that now, but then we have the regular board meeting followed by the annual meeting.
Right.
Right.
I don't know then there's some kind of a swearing in, correct?
And then the new board meeting.
And then the new board meeting.
But that's part of the new board meeting, is the swearing in,
Okay, fine.
Installation.
Yes,
installation of office.
installation, right, okay.
Well, and that should be done before the new board meeting.
Right. It would be after the annual meeting or at the annual meeting.
Or it could be done either one.
You have the election at the annual meeting, and then you can have the installation immediately following, and then
It could be
the
part of
new
the
board.
the annual
Right.
Because then the new board has to,
Is that right?
right.
You all guide me.
Yeah,
on
we
this
can
one.
have, what are you saying? Are you
You see the
saying,
arrows.
are you saying you want to have the car then first?
Right, because there was not time in talk. Jackie's been on vacation too. She
I know.
and Jen Lambert have been out on a long bus tour of the Western United States, and she only got back to me yesterday. And of course, there obviously was not enough time for her to set up a CAR meeting with all the members that would be necessary. So she said, well, let's just do it right before we do our general meeting of the board. And it would be short, but that way she can actually have a committee rather than just her and Barbara.
Okay.
Now, if you would like me to set up a car meeting for 10 minutes before with just the people who need to be invited.
Right.
Do that separately, and then you'd have to log out and then log back into the annual meeting.
That gets complicated. Is that doable?
It's doable, yeah, but I might confuse people.
Yeah,
Why don't, it doesn't matter if there's, if the non-members are there, they're not voting, they're not going to be, have anything to say, or
Yeah, I don't
can
care.
you just do it as you call the car meeting and then Jackie adjourns and then we start our,
I don't see a reason for another Zoom.
no,
Oh, no.
it's
Well,
too complicated.
Was if we start getting a lot of questions about car from people who are not involved.
that's the problem.
Oh, yeah.
We've
Yeah.
had that in the past. Now, I don't know that we will.
But
But
I,
you report on the car meeting when you're finished, you report to the board.
Right.
I mean, is there a whole lot to be discussed at the car meeting? I mean, it's pretty well.
I mean, are you going to, do you think you're going to be doing any major things like asking for more money to be put somewhere or anything like that?
Nope.
No.
Then I don't see a major problem. There's not going to be a discussion of investments and changing brokerages or anything like that. It's, and they're not going to get the car report. Only the car committee would get the report.
Well, I plan on just showing it on the Zoom rather than sending it out. I'll just show it on the screen like I'm going to show you all in just a few minutes.
Well, does anybody have a problem then with us doing it even though there's members of the board that may have never even know anything about car other than the fact that it is our investments? Does anybody have a problem with including it and making it just one Zoom meeting?
I don't.
Okay, then we'll do it that way. That's fine.
Okay, good.
And I might include another slide that I don't have on what I'm going to show you guys. It just gives a very brief background of what car is in case we have some new people who don't know.
Yeah, I think it's probably good. Because a lot of people don't really understand, I don't think. But,
Well then, Barbara, we'll do it that way. And we'll get that in. We'll do that before the general meeting and then,
okay.
but do you want to move it up then to 1 or do you just want to start 10
Yeah.
minutes early?
2 o'clock's fine.
2,
2 o'clock.
1:50 for car, 2 for reconvening the rest of us.
We could do that because we can sign on. It doesn't matter.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
we can just have car, log in early and Barbara, you'll let us in anyway, right?
Yeah,
Start that.
you get on. There's no problem with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, 150.
150 for car. Okay.
All right, then, go ahead, Barbara, and give us an update on car.
Okay, I updated the charts this morning because I've been gone. Let's see. Here we go. Move this over.
Total car. See. Invest.
Okay, there we go. Okay, can y'all see that?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to start out with, I think this is right. I didn't have my book. My book's at home and I'm not at home. I think these are the right people for, and then they're probably not because I don't have Lisa on there.
No,
Actually,
Mary Ann
Mary Ellen is not long-range planning chair.
and Mary Ann Barris is not first vice president, nor Marilyn second.
Okay, who's long range planning? I'll correct it right here.
I am Kitty.
Okay, I should know that.
I bug you enough.
Okay, Kitty's long range planning. Mary, who's
First vice,
vice president?
that's Lisa Sharp.
Okay,
And also, I'm secretary, not Jean.
okay.
And then Evelyn's second vice president.
This was from the one in Austin. It was a long time ago that I found this chart. So, okay, second vice president is,
Evelyn.
Lynn Albright.
okay, went blank. Spell the last name.
ALBRIGHT.
Albright, of course. Okay,
And then our law-related education chair is Mary Ann Paris.
no.
No,
No,
It's
No.
this toy.
let me look.
it's yeah.
Toy now?
Long range education chair is Toy.
Oh. okay.
Oh,
It's been
I
that
didn't know
way
that.
since I
oh,
took.
okay, we have long-range planning and law-related education.
So it's,
Okay. I'm looking at it right here.
Okay, if there are no issues, I'll go to the next page.
Hang on a second, let's clarify what law-related education chair is. Should that be Toy?
No,
yeah, I mean, there is,
LRE used to be a separate thing, and I thought, I didn't
Yeah.
know who chaired that actually.
yeah,
Okay, so
Yeah.
if law-related education chair is Toy, that's fine. But we
Right.
also have a committee called Law-Related Education,
yeah,
well,
which is
that,
Marian Ferris.
that's Marianne Ferris.
Right.
right. But
So maybe just change
it's
it
always
to
been the toy person that comes to the,
the car.
yeah,
Right, maybe change that from law-related education chair to Toy chair on your
You
chart.
put Toy there. You put Toy beside it. I guess that,
Yeah, but I would say.
both law-related education. So it's just basically the toy person comes. I think that's fine.
Well, you know what? Long-range planning, I thought was Ellen.
Ellen?
Mary Ellen, no, she
I mean,
gave,
Mary Ellen,
No,
right.
Mary Ellen did not want to do that last year.
Yeah.
And she does not want to do it this year.
That's true, that's true. She did this,
okay, we got all the right people in the right places.
yes.
Okay. I think I must have started doing this in 2017 because this chart goes from the end of first quarter in 17 all the way to the end of second quarter in 21. And I think what's interesting about it is that, first of all, the green is our BlackRock, the money that we put into something that is a little bit more risky than just treasury bonds, but it also has continued to fund the things that we're doing. And we now have more in BlackRock than we've had before, even though we've had to take funds out for different things. So that's good. You see that the safe investments, that's in red, they don't really fluctuate too much. If they fluctuate at all, it's because something got sold and then they repurchase another similar bond or something like that. And then the total amount this year that we're higher than we've ever been is 511,000, I believe.
Wow, that's great.
Good job.
Yeah,
Yes,
it just
absolutely.
surprises me that with everything that's going on in the economy and the world, and we keep doing our stuff, we keep spending our money, we keep, giving teacher awards, and we
Right.
didn't have any meetings this year, but and the market's been good. So we've
Oh,
been
yeah.
able to capitalize on that. So that's all I'm going to show is just that stuff.
It's perfect.
I do
That's
have a
good.
chart somewhere, and I didn't put it in here of what kinds of things BlackRock is invested in. I might pull that chart out and plug it in here so people want to know, we took it out of what and what did we put it into. I'll put that chart into because I think that's helpful.
Looks good.
You had a cute one a couple of years ago that had like little graphics on it with the industry
I
was.
couldn't find that folder on my, and then I found it was under car of all places. So
Imagine that.
Can I ask a question right now?
Yeah.
Basically, it's to do with your 3-year stint and the 1-year stint, and the other board member,
Right.
which is Janet. And do we? Since you said you came on in 2017, you must have been renewed, or maybe you weren't, but you should have been 3 years on from then. And so that means that you're due for renewal next year in 22. Is that correct?
If I came on in 17, that I would be through at the end of our fiscal year 22, I think.
Okay, at the end. So for 23, right. Okay.
Yeah,
In 23, you need to be renewed.
either renewed or replaced or shot or something.
Yes, right, yeah. Okay.
And I do think we need,
Depends on how you're doing. We decide.
And the other thing is, has anyone done anything about asking Janet again or asking somebody else to be the 1-year person?
I
Does
haven't.
the-
Noel, did you ask, or was that?
I
a-
did. I reached out to Janet. I think she's fine with staying on CAR, where her issue was with me, and I'll get to that when I do my little report, was I'd asked her to share the auxiliary awards, and she's kind of balked at that, but I think we've come up with a solution. But I think she's fine for CAR for another year.
If it really is the 1-year person, you don't even do anything.
Yeah.
I think you're there just in case
What-
the 3-year person disappears.
Probably.
But actually, Sharon and I are connected on this because she has access to Morgan Stanley and so do I. And we're
Yeah.
the only people who do. The 1-year person has never asked for it and has never seemingly cared to go out and look at our stuff in Morgan Stanley. So,
Okay.
so that's my stuff.
All right, thank you.
This has been happening.
I have a question. We were talking about our income. I know at the last meeting, we talked about the fact that we did have some local and state auxiliaries that had never paid. And some discussion on how we should follow up or be more proactive in reaching out to those people. And also, it says here we have some people that are individual members that had not paid. Has any of that changed? And what are the plans for our proactive, and I will use the San Antonio Bar Auxiliary as an example. We haven't met in 2 years, but we are going to be meeting. We've had a planning meeting. We've got a full schedule of events that start in September. We didn't collect dues last year at all because we didn't meet. And I don't know what the status was when we kind of disbanded in February, but what is the status of our plans for getting people to renew their membership? And I know, did Jeannie do most of the work for the auxiliaries, our auxiliary?
That was supposed to be Janie Petite.
Yeah, and I don't think Janie did anything.
I did, and if I can chime in a little bit, one of the things that I'm doing, Janie is not asked to renew her position. I have appointed Dominique Varner, who is the president of the Houston Bar Auxiliary, is going to step in, and she's great. And she's like, what do I do? And I said, well, what I want you to do with is what I would like is to have monthly updates for her to reach out to each auxiliary every month to find out what's going on, what they're doing, what they have been doing, anything we need to know that would be of general knowledge to the organization. And then one of the things I was going to do is monthly, as opposed to your coffee chats. So I was just going to send out an e-blast and include a section on the auxiliaries specifically, and have her be on top of the pulse of what they're doing, so they feel included.
Yeah.
Because I know they kind of felt like stepchildren out there for a while, and we're losing some, and it's sad. And this would be a nice way to make them feel, like they're part of the team. So I'm on board for that.
That weekly, that monthly update using the auxiliaries as making them, having them report. TLA, you did that with the TLA newsletters, and it was always interesting, had pictures, and I love to read about what people are doing, and instead of but doing it around the auxiliary, I think recognizes the fact that they are part of what we're doing, and that we think what they're doing is important, and we can share that. So that makes a lot of sense. I like
But
that.
it's utilizing a committee that hadn't been doing anything,
Yeah.
and also reminding them to pay dues.
Years ago, the state and local auxiliary person was supposed to be reaching out to the state and local auxiliaries and just connecting with them. Also, every time I get a payment, any payments I get, I send notices to different people. I send notices to Janie whenever a state or local auxiliary pays. And so it's sort of her responsibility to make sure that all of them have paid. And if they haven't, I send a notice to Barbara if individuals don't pay. So Barbara usually follows up on them. I send a notice to, anytime I get payments, I'm sending an email to several people saying, here's the money I got in. And the reason I send it to state and local is that the state and local representative is supposed to be keeping track of whether or not these auxiliaries are paying. I don't think it happens, but
Yeah.
that's
Janie-
why.
Janie didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I love Janie and she's a lot of fun, but she's not a real organizer like that. Dominique should be great. She's very organized. She's a partner in a law firm. She's on the, board of several different things. And I think she's going to be great. So look, I'll introduce you guys at the same time and let y'all visit and coordinate how you want to work with that.
Well, and
So
I think
one thing I will have in the newsletters or the emails are deadlines, and one of those will be dues.
Noelle and I had
How
talked
many
about,
individuals did we not have pay this year? Very
um,
many?
I can
I don't think
bring
there's
it
been a lot, but
well, I can bring it up. Well, the gal who was from Arizona, who was a friend of Natalie's, she's
Yeah.
not renewed. Pauline Neely did not renew. I mean, I can send out, let me just send a report rather than.
okay, yeah.
go through.
How far back do you go? Once a person doesn't pay 1 year, do you go back at least 2 years for people that have not paid their dues?
I go back 2 years for inclusion in the roster. If they haven't paid for 2 years, then I figure they're not going to be involved. Like, for example, Austin Lawyers Auxiliary, Ann Winkler. Does anybody know Ann?
I do, and I'm the treasurer, so I need to know. I'm just letting you guys check.
Well, she's not paid in the last 2 years. So,
Oh,
but that is the, I think that's her personally has not paid.
yes, yeah, no, I think I owe you as treasurer for ALA, Austin, I owe you all some money.
Yeah, and Edna James, for example, in San Francisco, she hasn't paid in 3 years.
Well, hasn't anybody sent her a reminder?
Well, when I send out, and this year I sent out, I didn't send out the whole roster, but I sent out changes to the roster, and I sent out a little dues notice, and it was on a yellow piece of paper included in the envelope, your dues are due, and where to send them to. So everybody got one.
I think we could go back 3 years and say, because I feel like 2020 didn't even exist. People were not, I think even a letter that said, if you're like me, that a lot of things that you normally do or stay involved with, you weren't, but we miss you. And maybe, I don't know how many that would be, how many letters that would take, but.
Well, Noelle has a great letter written. I mean, and I think, now, Dominique, is that who you're talking about?
Yes, as our auxiliary person.
Okay, she's a lifetime member of ALA, so.
Ah,
Yeah, that letter that you wrote, if we could create a plan that says, okay, here's the letter you send out to people who, you want to, you identify the people that you want to send the letter to, and then have a letter to be sent to these people who haven't paid in the last 2 years, that would give her something concrete to start with.
Well, Dominique's not going to be part of that's another thing. The letter I wrote is not Dominique's territory.
yeah.
That's another thing that I'm going to.
Okay.
That's
Another
hard,
project,
right?
yeah.
It's another one of my problems.
Well, I don't want to add more work to what people are doing, but I think I think we've got an opportunity because a lot of people that maybe didn't consider renewing or would renew with a personal letter, it wouldn't take that much to do it. And it doesn't sound like we have a huge list of people that would have to even go to. But something to consider if we want to really kind of revitalize our organization through new dues.
Well, and I think Joette did hers online through the website, but I don't think she ever sent Sharon a check.
Joette, I just recently got a couple of things. Notices that people have done the online, but they have to do that other step of doing PayPal or whatever.
They do. I know, for instance, my friend Margaret joined up and she paid through PayPal. You have like $143 in your PayPal account that hasn't been over. And if you you can go through and see exactly who paid for what.
I haven't gone to the PayPal this week for a couple of weeks, so.
Yeah, well, there's some stuff in there because I was double checking to make sure she paid, and she had. And there were a couple other, I think there's some donations for John Bennett on behalf of John Bennett as well that were in the PayPal. And it'll designate, it'll delineate who pays for what.
Normally I get a notice from PayPal and I didn't, so I'll have to go in and do
Yeah,
it.
you have to be proactive and just check it from time to time, because I do that with other things and they don't always send something in.
Noelle, who were you talking about that paid online?
Margaret Settle, your new assistant,
Okay.
your new
Yes.
tour person, who you guys are gonna love. She's a hoot.
'Cause
Poor
I
Maggie.
I don't have any info on her, so that's why I'm asking.
Okay, she sent it. Yes, you should have a form processor email. She did it online and she paid through PayPal. I got a copy of it. You got a copy of it, and Sharon got a copy
Let me see. I'm
of
not
Margaret's application.
Yes, you did. I'm looking at it.
sure.
So, but like I said, I haven't done the PayPal. I will check the PayPal before the end of August because that's our fiscal year and I want to make sure everybody is on. There. But yes, I do have that email about Margaret.
But
And
yeah,
I
put a tickler to just maybe check it once a month or whatever.
And I have Joette. I have one about Joette.
Okay, I've got Margaret's, but it came the day after I flew to Hawaii, so that's why I haven't.
Okay,
Okay.
you're on island time. You're,
I wish.
Well, all right, let's move on to officer reports, and mine is first, and I will hold mine till later. So let's move on. Noel, you want
oh, lordy,
to,
lordy.
you're busy.
You girls have been making me jump through hoops, and I've been thinking and doing all sorts of fun things. I sent out my thing this morning or yesterday about what I want to do. I tell you, finding chairs is not the easiest thing in the world. Goodness gracious, everybody who agreed to stay on, a lot of them didn't. In fact, I got a letter from Marilyn McDowell, who hand wrote me something that went to my old address, and I just got it today when I got back in town, saying she doesn't want to do past precedents and life membership coordinator anymore. So I need to find a head for that. So anybody have any suggestions who might want to? I mean, it's not a really big job. It's just something to kind of like our liaison for our auxiliary, somebody to kind of keep tabs on our past presidents. And
Does anybody know the status of Bonnie Mitchell's husband?
I have not spoken to her, no. No, I sort of feel like I don't want to bother her, but
Well,
I would like to know.
he was in ICU the last I knew. and
Right, and that's all we know.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I did write her a note, and she thanked me, for the sincere wishes, but that's been a week or more. I don't even know how long ago.
And I don't know his status. And she, that's something that you can do kind of in your spare time. And I don't know if she wants anything to do.
she made it clear she really did not want to do anything at this
Yeah,
point.
but we really need to ask about her husband though, because he's come to a meeting before and she's been really very helpful and teacher of the year program. So I will send her another note and see. what we
Does
can
her
say.
husband have COVID? Is that what he's suffering?
No, he's been sick for years.
Oh,
He's
so
had
it's
a lot
just
of
a
different-
lot, yeah, it's a long-term illness.
And when she travels to the ALA meeting, she has to be very careful to get somebody in to help him. And although I thought he was still working, so I'm not sure the situation. But he did come to a meeting one time. Very, very nice gentleman.
I
Yeah.
think if these chair positions had maybe a more defined job description to them, if they knew exactly what they needed to do and when they needed to do it, then they might not be so hesitant to take it. If they just thought, oh, I just have to do this, this, and
I
this.
think that's a great idea.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're getting into by just the title.
Right. And
It'd be
everybody
good
can
for
add
some new
ideas
person,
and do something
like the
different.
past president thing, that would be good for a new person.
Mm-hmm.
Or a past president who's not doing anything.
Right.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Natalie might be interested.
She might.
She hasn't really been involved in a while. I don't know how her husband is.
I don't know how Bob is. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
on her Zoom meetings, he comes up and kisses her all the time, which is really sweet.
Well, he-
I don't know if he knows who she is, but
Is he home with her? I thought he was not home.
He's in a facility.
He's in
he was during COVID. Maybe he's back.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll check with Natalie. Natalie's, she might need something to.
That'd be good.
I'll ask her if she'd be interested. Because one of the things I would like for that position to do is to follow up with the biographies and the headshots of our past presidents, because for the website, because the last one I have, I believe, is Anne.
Yes.
Joette hasn't given me one. Jackie hasn't given me one. Rita, you're going to
Oh.
put together for me with a wonderful headshot. Yes.
Yes, you don't. And I noticed I was reading Lucy's remarks, and one of the things that it says for as the incoming president is make sure you've got an up-to-date photograph. I
Oh,
thought,
is that she said?
oh yeah, now I see that.
But yeah, that would be a great thing, is to kind of cattle prod these old presidents to get me some information and making sure they're staying involved. So I'll check with Natalie. I think that might be a fun person. So yeah, we've got 2 new faces on the board that I'm excited about. New chairs. I've got nominating committee. I appointed Stephanie and Joette, and Stephanie is going to chair it, as Sue Patterson does not want to chair it any longer, and Stephanie's
Okay.
very happy about that. To replace Bonnie, I was telling you about my friend Margaret Settle, who
Yes.
will be joining us on the 11th. And Margaret is a high school teacher in Arlington, Texas. And
Perfect.
she's CPA. Her husband's a partner with the Dallas firm, and she's fun and organized and a little bawdy, and she's an Aggie, but I love her anyway. But she'll be great. She's very organized, and she's going to retire next year. And she says, I need something to do. I said, I got the thing for you. The one thing I want to do is, and this kind of goes along with what Rita was saying, as far as getting people more involved and expanding our footprint, so to speak, is to literally create a position called an outreach coordinator. And some of you guys have already seen the letter that I put together. And on the first e-blast, I'm planning to solicit people to give names and addresses to Joette of potential members, where she can reach out and send this letter that says, let's see, where is it? And you guys gave me such great insight on it. Yes. Basically, it says, here's who we are, and it's a very dignified group, and I didn't want to use the word exclusive because that sounded kind of,
That's not good.
it didn't sound good, but I made it said distinguished group is what we are. And then have the name of the person referring her or him. And then what we do, we talk about the awards and the judicial award and our auxiliary awards, and hope that they will join us for $25 a year, which is tax deductible, and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so she's going to send out this letter to these people along with the brochure. Hopefully we'll get 10 to 20% to respond. And if we have everybody send in a couple of names, and not just a one-time deal, but as you meet people, everybody, we all know lawyers' wives because we're all lawyers' wives. And so partners of our husbands or friends or whatever, the worst they could do is take it and put it in the trash can. But maybe we'll get some good bait and get a couple of new names. So anyway, Joette said that she would help me out with that. So she's going to be the point person as far as collecting that and filling up and doing the letters and sending them out. So when we were talking about the budget, we we're going to need a little extra postage there.
Okay, I have one thing. Is there anything in this letter, am I missing it, about the auxiliary support awards that we give, money we give every year on that? Because if I hand this to someone in my auxiliary, which my auxiliary gets an award every year, they might want to remember that.
You're right. I need to include that. So let me make it out. I will revise this to include the auxiliary awards.
Because then I'll say, we get money every year from this organization. Maybe you should join.
Yeah, no, that's, like I said,
Good point.
a little bit on my plate this month. So I will add that in. That's a great idea. So that's one thing. And then I've got Dominic coming in, another new face. And then our marketing committee, which we were a little ambiguous that Kitty was running the marketing committee and the long range planning, but there are actually 2 committees, and Lucy is now going to be chairing that.
Who is?
She has agreed to do that.
Who was going to chair it?
Well, Kitty was chairing them both last year.
Yeah.
Now Lucy has stepped in to chair marketing. She's like, I don't know what to do. And I said, well, there isn't that much to do right now. It's more of a collective brainstorming session.
Yes, we're going to figure it all out together.
Exactly. So, anyway, so that was, this is the other thing I was thinking about. And I've bounced this off a few of you guys already, is to reactivate our honorary membership classification. That's one thing. It's in the bylaws. I don't know. I asked Kitty if we have any honorary members, or Barbara, and they're like, Barbara said, well, ask Kitty. And Kitty said, well, I don't know. But our spouses of our Supreme Court justices are automatically considered honorary members.
Yeah, we voted them in several years ago as honorary members, but I don't know that we've had any other honorary members, or at least I don't remember.
So what I was thinking, and this is my DC folks, particularly Evelyn, I was thinking about maybe having Linda Eagle do up a very nice certificate saying you are an honorary member of the American Lawyers Alliance. Yay, or whether and just give it to them. I mean, they can do whatever they want with it. But that way we can put them in the website as honorary members. And I think that would give us some nice exposure there and a lot of credibility.
Well, I think you'd better ask permission.
I know.
You know that. You already know that.
I'm spitballing here a little bit. These are just, these are I kind of start thinking, and I get it. I go out there, and sometimes y'all may have to rein me back a little bit. And then I thought the executives, us, can meet to decide on other honorary members. And who I was thinking are Troy Award recipients, I think should be honorary members. They don't
I agree.
do anything.
I think I came in as an honorary member. I was president of the San Antonio Bar Auxiliary, and when I was president, I was invited to a meeting and to say what we were doing, and I didn't pay dues. I didn't plan to come back. I just went to that one meeting, and it was only after that I got involved. But I think I was an honorary. I thought I was an honorary member.
Yeah,
You were on.
yeah, I was too. I think that's
felt like it, but I don't know whether that was an official honorary member. But I definitely think that the president of any auxiliary should be an honorary member.
I believe that's right. The presidents of the auxiliary do not pay dues for the year they are the president.
Yes.
After that, they have to pay dues if they
Right.
want to become a member. We don't call it, I don't know what we call it. I guess it's honorary for the year or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this as like a permanent position.
Right.
Oh, so they're honorary forever?
Yeah.
Yes.
For Tory winners and the spouses. And if there's somebody else really, as my husband says, why don't we get Jill Biden to be an honorary member? She's married to a lawyer.
It's true. You could ask her. Yeah. Just ask permission. That's it. And then,
The Texas Bar Association, we always usually put whoever's president on as a one of the honorary members, but I'm not sure whether we do that for every auxiliary or every state that has an auxiliary, but it certainly increases. That's how we ended up with some membership, I think, by having them as honorary members and not expecting them to pay dues, because they could certainly support their auxiliary and spread the word as a representative, whether they actually participate or not.
Well, Barbara, you're in charge of membership. What do you think?
Well, I'm not really in charge of membership. I'm just in charge of tracking it and making sure that we get all the right data on the right people, and just kind of making sure I send reminders out to people. I'm not in charge of membership outreach, and that's a whole separate deal.
Okay, we'll let
so that would be Joette.
Joette do that.
Let's get her.
After what she may be due for the 60th anniversary.
She owes you.
Stripes on this one, let me tell you. Anyway, so that was my second prong on that, on expanding our footprint. Kitty, I love when you and I talked about getting We the People folks more involved as well.
Mhm.
And having them invite their participants to our Zoom meeting.
The teachers, right? You had a great communication with Mark Gage.
Yeah.
Is it Mark? Yeah.
And I think if we keep that alive, that'll help
Yeah.
also. And then I'd like to see all of our local auxiliaries and state auxiliaries, I'd like to see every single one of them as members of ALA. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't, and that's what I'm going to get Dominique to kind of work with a little bit. So that and the my e-blasts are on my agenda once a month to put in there, kind of take everything in the pot and throw it out there and see what sticks, what needs to be known, and hopefully not be too tedious and too boring with that. So
I tell you that I think one of the biggest assets we have is what you do on the internet for us. That
Oh, yeah.
tools you can use and just the communication lines that you keep open, they're never closed. You're always available and you respond so quickly.
you
I
know,
mean,
that's being years of being a realtor, because you don't miss a phone call. You just never know when that big one's going to be coming, the big listing's coming. So now
I'm curious how you're going to be able to do what which I don't see how you get it all done and be a realtor right now. How, are you going to want to maintain that responsibility of getting the e-blast out, or
yeah,
maybe it'll even be easier so that you don't have to wait for people to get anything to you. You can just do one a lot faster and maybe without delay. But how are you going to do that?
same way I've been doing it all along. I mean, when I'm ready to do it, I will go out. If I haven't heard from so-and-so or so-and-so about this, I'll solicit the information. If they don't have anything to contribute, they don't get in the e-blast. It's piece of cake. It's no.
Well, it's a huge asset for the organization. If nobody, I guess you get tired of hearing it, but I think you turned around a situation that was desperate need and made it something we're all proud of. So thank you, Noelle.
I've had a lot of fun doing it, and I'd like to see it go farther. It's a really cool organization. We've been around for a long time, and we've got some really good members, and we can get some really great new members too. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to throw out at you guys? Since I'm kind of doing this by the seat of my pants, hopefully I will be able to do my board meeting. I'm terrified of that on my own. So when I put my agenda together for the new board meeting, Anne, I want you to go over with a fine tooth comb and make sure I've got all my T's crossed and my I's dotted so I don't screw it up, okay?
Okay, well, thanks, Noelle. Is that it?
That's it. That's enough.
Okay. And of course, Lisa's not here, first vice president. Evelyn, what's going on with you? You kind of,
Well, everything's going well. I have the Auxiliary Support Program Award, the final report, which I did send. I think I sent it to you. Yeah, that it can be printed up. We spent our $4,000 for 7 different auxiliaries. And basically, if an auxiliary meets all the criteria, they do get an award. The amount of the award is dependent upon what they do, the amount of outreach, and number of people in the auxiliary that have participated. And it's very interesting to see what we're doing across the breadth and depth of the country. So that is, I'm passing that on to who's taking it over? Dominique?
That was the other part of one of my people. And
I was your cue.
Yes, thank you. My brain trigger. I asked Janet Bollinger to step into Evelyn's shoes, and she was a little squeamish about it, and she hasn't really quite accepted the full chair responsibility. And of course, the other 2 members are Mary Ellen and Jennifer Benesh. And Mary Ellen's absolutely will not, emphatically not do it as far as chairing. So I caught them at a luncheon the other day, and I sweet talked Jennifer. I said, please, please. And she's like, I don't know if I can do this. I said, you can do this. You have the support of everybody in the committee. So I said, maybe you guys can co-chair. So Jennifer was going to reach out to Janet and be willing to co-chair it with her. If she doesn't, Jennifer will do it on her own. She's fine with that. As long as Evelyn's a phone call away and Mary Ellen's a phone call away to help us.
I will help.
Yes.
I will help and support and pass on whatever they need or want.
Right. I think the only thing as far as the auxiliaries, right now is I'm trying to round up the name of the presidents of each auxiliary and their contact information to give to Dominique.
Right,
And
and I've given you the name of the 7 ones that applied, which is basically what I have,
you
And
have their
and you-
email addresses.
and the president. But I have, yes, I can give you like an email address.
Yes,
Which
please.
is what would be the up-to-date one, because the others from the ancient directory.
Okay, that would be great.
I'll pass that to you. Fine.
Okay.
All right. Anne, you have anything else you want to add as secretary?
I don't think so. I think, everything's going okay. So,
All right. Thank you.
except just keeping the records and making sure we have the records,
Yeah.
And we seem to,
You do that for sure.
we know where they are. Maybe we can't access, but we know we have them.
Sharon, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Nope.
Okay, and Jackie's not with us. Kitty? why
Yes.
don't you go ahead and fill us in with what, I know I wanted to tell you the certificates for the toy
Oh.
award were beautiful.
Thank you.
I was
And
very,
I've got some beautiful frames, and they're in frames, and Sharon has sent the checks to me, and I'm going to UPS this afternoon. I told her I would do it yesterday. It didn't happen, but we're going this afternoon and get them out. So they should have them without a problem by the 11th of August. That's almost 2 weeks, or I'll send them no matter what it takes to get them there by the 11th. They're all on the East Coast, which is
Oh.
interesting this year because we're usually spread across the country. But this year, all 4 winners, you can help me on that, Barbara, but I believe all 4 are East Coast: Connecticut, Florida, New Jersey, and I'm blanking on the other one. But anyway, they're all, so it shouldn't be a problem to get them there well before the 11th. And the checks will be sent. I wrote a cover letter to go with it, and we'll get those out this afternoon to the UPS place. The other thing I did, long range planning and everything has just been at a standstill at this point because there's just not, I'm still sending brochures to the executive director and president of the bar associations now that they're open again, but we had a big lull where nothing was happening, obviously. The other thing I did want to mention, and Noelle knows about this, is that one of our previous winners, toy winners, Patricia Matlin, and I don't know if anybody was around when she won, it was 2010, a lovely woman who came to our meeting dressed in her robes because when she conducts her classroom as a courtroom, and she's a 5th grade teacher. Well, she passed away recently, and I guess somehow her husband notified Noelle that she had passed away recently. So I did write him a note just to say, excuse me, that I did remember her and what a wonderful person I thought she was. Well, he wrote the nicest note back and saying what this was the capstone of her 40-year career of teaching to receive this award. And it was a beautiful letter. So we thought Noelle is going to try to do something with it, but I cannot find a picture of this woman. So I'm going to have to contact her husband and ask him if it's all right if we use this letter and her picture. But Noelle, you need to tell me where we're going to put it because I don't know what you had in mind.
I was going to put it in the monthly news e-blast.
E-blast. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. I want to make sure I wasn't saying the wrong thing. A monthly e-blast. And hopefully he will respond with a picture.
I can't
But,
imagine not having one. That would be so wonderful.
yeah, I just think it would be nice, especially in her robe. So she did make quite an appearance. And as I say, I don't remember if any of you were there, but it was quite an event when she came in the room and he announced her and everything. So it was fun. It was a fun ceremony. So
Oh.
I don't really have anything else on long range planning or marketing or anything. We are just holding our own. And now we're going to be in 2 separate camps. But a lot of the people who were on it, I asked them to stay on and they wanted to be on both. So I think we're going to have a good committee either way.
Give me that list once it's finalized.
I'm trying to find a list even as we speak.
Okay. Hey,
Okay, Noelle.
question, Kitty. Who designs your toy certificate? Is that did Linda?
Designs them? No, I do it.
You do it. Okay.
Well, you buy this paper that has the border and then
Yeah.
I just, fill in the blanks.
Oh,
Have
okay.
you seen them? You've seen them.
I don't know if I've actually seen
Maybe
them.
you haven't. Oh, well, the teachers usually have them and hold them up, but I don't know how well you see them from where you are.
Probably not. 'Cause I was just thinking of something that we do for the honorary members, but
Yeah,
I
no,
think
but this is a piece of paper that has gold borders and it's quite elaborate, and you can get them at Staples. And then I just work up a computer program to fill them in and send them
Kitty,
out.
Kitty, could you take a photo of them before you send them to UPS, or have you already got them wrapped?
No, they're sitting on the table ready to go right now. So yeah, I'll get a photo and send them to you all.
Yeah,
would be great.
Okay,
we'd love
That's
to
Yeah,
see.
Kitty, if you will send me a picture of each one of them, I can.
I've made copies for you, but they're just black and white. But I thought you would want them for your files. But I could send pictures because I know we don't do paper. I'm not used to that yet. So but I will send you all. Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and fill in more about what the toy presentations were going to be like on the 11th?
Okay, it's gonna be pretty straightforward. In fact, I'll probably have you introduce it, but I'm gonna have Kitty speak some words because she's been with it for so long to give the history of the Toy Award and what the auxiliary does. And then we'll have our 4 speakers, and then Robert Lemming has agreed to close out the program with some thoughts. He is with We the People, and he spoke last year because one of the teachers had won, I believe, the We the People contest and knew Robert Lemming. So I don't know that he knows any of these people, but he's going to speak about what.
I looked at the resumes and they all seemed to have had something to do with We the People at some point. So I told him that in an email that I sent him recently, and he'll, and I sent him the thing that you had sent with the description of each teacher. So
Yeah, so it shouldn't be lengthy. And I thought if I had a picture of the certificate ahead of time, I could put that up before I show the picture of the teacher. And
okay,
then the teacher could go into her or his presentation.
right, okay, I will try to get a decent picture. Not a professional.
That's okay. That's okay.
Barbara,
I'll send
there's
something.
4 awards,
4, yes.
4 to high schools, and then 1 the Jarvis Award.
No, there's 3. Go ahead, Barbara.
Yeah, it's three regular Teacher of the Year awards, and then 1 that is the Lillian B. Jarvis Award.
Let me ask you about that. I heard you say that the donation or the sponsorship for that award is that she's committed to 5 years. Is the plan then for us to look at whether we'll continue it, or do you, in your
Well,
mind, do you think that will be, we won't do it after that, after she doesn't fund it?
Well, she's funding it, so if she wants to continue it, we'll continue it.
There's not a certain amount that she's going to give over a period of time. She's
Well,
just
it's the $15,000, which is going to be $3,000
Oh,
for
okay.
5 years.
50,000. Oh,
15.
For
15.
5 years,
Yeah.
basically.
And I got her involved with looking at the application of the male teacher who is winning that award. And she thought that was a good application. So I've got her involved in it. So she feels
Good.
ownership.
And maybe she'll continue after 5 years.
Actually, she's going to speak too. She's going to speak a little bit about why she wanted to give the money to this award and why it would have meant so much to her mother. I believe
Okay.
her mother came, and I'm not positive, but I think I heard her speak either on one of our calls or in one of the emails, that her mother may have come here as a non-English speaker, but I'm not positive about that, and why this means so much to her. So, and of course, she
Nice.
wanted to be in schools where there is more diversity in the classroom and where people don't always have the chances that some of our other teachers' classrooms have.
well, her participation in some of the just meetings that we've had, coffee chats and things, are always. I mean, it's remarkable that she could even participate, but she seems like she has kind of connected through your following up and keeping her involved. So that's going to, I hope, will pay off in the end.
Yeah, she's an interesting gal. If I ever get back to Italy again, I intend to meet her.
For sure. All right, we'll move on then. We're down to starting some new business. Is there anything else on the committee levels that, I mean, from the presidents on down? Anybody have anything else you want to say? Oh, I've got something I want to say.
Oh,
Look at
you
that.
got it.
Hey,
Beautiful.
We were out of town for a couple of days, and I came back, and there was this big box on down that my son had brought up from the mailbox down at the road, and I thought, what the heck? Because it wasn't an Amazon box, and Lucy had not given me a heads up, and so I started opening that box, and it had packing and stuff, and my son and my husband were watching me, and I said, I don't know what this is, and it was that beautiful, beautiful vase. And it's, you probably couldn't read the inscription on there, but it has my name and president. And I had forgotten what we gave. I guess because most of the time Lucy mails it ahead of time, and the president doesn't have them with them because they're not going to bring it in
Right.
and traveling. But I'm so proud of that. I called Lucy immediately and said, I got this box that is just beautiful. And she said, put flowers in it and show everybody. So I
Oh,
did
good.
that. But thank you
Good.
so much. I feel it's beautiful. I assume that's the same vase that you have too, Anne. Is that?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Well, I know, I haven't decided where I'm going to put it, but it's certainly going to be a place of honor, and I'm so proud of it. But thank you all. Okay,
Good.
down to new business then, and we covered the Teacher of the Year awards, which start at 11 on the 11th. And so I don't think I've got that time right. The annual meeting will follow, well, the CAR committee will follow at the 1:50 time frame, and Jackie will be in charge of that meeting as chairperson. And then the new board, the annual meeting will follow that, along with Noel's installation and everything with the new board. Lucy and I have talked again about the mid-year meeting, which is still scheduled for San Antonio for 2022, April 6th through the 10th. And I don't know if you read your news you can use. It had the link for you to go ahead and make your reservation. And so I encourage you to do that, because she did, I think, only have 12 rooms. And I'm hoping we have far more than that, and we'll have to expand that. The San Antonio Bar Auxiliary has done their planning for 2022, and we are looking forward to being sort of co-host for some activities, or at least being available and participating. And I know the award winners from from January when we met, April when we met, we'll be having a special event at the Women's Club for that. And so there's a number of activities that you're going to be hearing more that Lucy has already got in motion. Let's see what else. Oh, moving on, I don't know how many of you heard from Jean Skilton this past week. On Tuesday, she sent out a letter that she had received. And I don't know how many of you had copies. I know, Anne, you got a copy.
Yeah, I got a copy, right.
It was not
And,
what
I want to read it to you, and then I said I would put this on the agenda. Not that there's an action that we can take at the moment, but I want you to be aware of it. It was to Jean. I assume that she got her name from an old yearbook. And I'm not sure I'm saying this woman's name right, but it says, Dear Miss Skilton, Catherine G., and it's like Jurgermeyer. I'm saying that right? Does anybody know this person?
Say it again.
It's Jurgemeyer, like Jurgermeyer.
Yeah.
Jurgermeyer. All right. Catherine G. Jurgermeyer, a longtime member of the Indiana chapter of ALA, was my mother. Sadly, she passed away in 2010. I would like to establish a memorial to honor her contributions to ALA over the many years of her participation. Unfortunately, I don't recall the exact years of her membership, but I do know she was instrumental in the creation and implementation of Law in a Free Society, as well as being on the committee to select the Teacher of the Year for several years. I would appreciate your assistance in directing me to the appropriate person to help me create an honor in her memory. I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, and this is her daughter, Nancy Jurgermeyer Haar, H-A-A-R. Does anybody remember her?
No.
Would Kathy,
Baumberger?
yeah, know it? Remember,
Oh,
since
I
she's-
asked-
She's
I talked to
Indiana.
Jean, and I said, do you know who this is? And she said, no, but I'm going to do some research and I'll let you know. I asked her if she'd like to be a part of the meeting today, but they are off again on one of their.
They were on Pikes Peak yesterday.
So,
No, Kathy Baumberger is an Indiana gal. She may know her or know of her.
well, if she was involved in toy, and then I'm not sure of this particular brochure called Law in a Free Society, but apparently, and she died in 2010, so it's going to go
Oh, it's
back.
been a while. Oh,
So I have written her a letter. I told Jean I would respond to her letter telling her that ALA is honored to be a part of her plan to honor her mother. I'm waiting to get a drink. And then I would be calling her to discuss how she thought she would like to see a memorial established. Oh, I got one.
Does Martha Franco keep any of the old records?
yeah.
Martha might.
Martha might know her. Yeah.
Obviously, I only got the letter from Jean on Tuesday. So we haven't been able to do much yet. But I did get the letter off, and I will call and try to find out more about what her thoughts are. Well,
Get yourself some water. We can
I
wait.
might need some. But I thought I'd give you a heads up. Maybe you want to be thinking about what we might could do that would be appropriate, considering it doesn't really give us much of a heads up on what she thinks an honorarium should be.
Is she planning on giving money or?
I don't know. It doesn't mention finances, but I would assume there has to be something beyond that.
Yeah,
Just
we
that.
can see what her thought process is.
So I thought I'd give her a day or two to get my letter, and then I'll call and just see if she can give me some hint of what she's thinking might be possible. And it always goes back to maybe something, we did the Jarvis Award based on a similar request.
Right.
And whether we come up with something new, whether we look for something we're doing that she could be like the Jarvis Award in an existing program, will be some opportunities. But after I talk to her, and hopefully I can do that.
She may have something in mind as well that we don't
That's
know
true.
about too.
And that's what I want to find out first.
Yeah.
If she's got some idea of what she would like to see in the way of an honorarium. But
That's very nice.
by at least the meeting on the 11th, I hope to have established some kind of guidelines so that we can discuss what she would like to do and what we might be able to come up with that would be suitable.
Okay.
But I'm excited. Jeannie didn't have a chance to, and I didn't have a chance to talk much because she was off again. But by then maybe we'll have some research as to a little more about her membership in ALA. So I'm excited. We have might have some new opportunities that we play ahead. I'm trying to see if there's anything else on my.
She was a member in 2009, 2010 year. I just looked on my computer. I don't have it past that. So she was a member when she died of ALA.
Okay.
I might have some old roster books too, but I don't know.
Well, if you've got any kind of research opportunity, if you could kind of look it up too, Sharon, and see if can kind of get some idea of, rather than just what we know here, it's not enough to really help us much, except that having passed away at 2010, you're going to have to go back a while.
Right. Well, she was a paid member when she died. I have that record. But
Wow.
That's a good sign.
okay.
Have I left anything out for anybody?
Oh,
I have a
can I
silly,
ask Barbara something?
Yes.
Barbara, are you going to tell us what you need us to, the committee, the toy committee know what you want us to do on the day of the toy presentation? Is there anything you want, like introduction or whatever?
Yeah, I'll introduce you and Bonnie and Kitty.
Okay.
I really want most of the time to be on the, the presentations by the teachers since
Is Bonnie going to be available that day?
I
Do you
don't know.
know?
I'll
Yeah.
find out, but I don't know. Anne may have to sit in for both of them.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
That's just,
I have a question. I used what I could, the last of the letterhead that I have. Who has what? Somebody said they could email me or, okay, Noel, would you do that?
Do that. And one of the things I was going to do also is on the website is to have a link where you can download the letterhead.
The
Yeah.
new letterhead.
And I've got one for this year also that I'll send you.
That I have. I need the new one.
Yeah, I will do that. And also was planning to add email lists, like full membership email list, board membership, and chair email list. So that will be accessible from the website.
Oh.
Yes, I can send that to you momentarily.
And I will get that file sent to you, Noel, of the current.
Oh, good.
membership
Yeah, because
list.
I'm trying them to blend it all together. Because my e-blast list, I have everybody and their brother that ever showed any interest on ALA. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know who some of these people are. So this way I can narrow it down to just our members, toy award winners, or there's some other sort of category for other people who are just, general interested. I have a question, and maybe this is in one of the books that you're going to give me, Rita. And my husband was very concerned. What does he say to swear us in? Are there some magic words?
You know what? I went through that with a number of people trying to find out. I called Jackie and she didn't have anything. I talked to Joette, she didn't have anything. So finally, Evelyn had asked me to swear in her officers, and I got what she had, and it was short, but it worked out fine because I had the judge that did it, and I sent it to her and told her that was, whatever was appropriate, but this would be fine. And it worked out fine for a Zoom swearing in.
Yeah.
Obviously, with an in-person swearing in, you might not feel like you have to be so concise and quick, but I had talked to the last two past presidents trying to find if there was a standard swearing in, and apparently there isn't. And who does it? There's no rhyme or reason to it. I will get you what I used and gave to our judge, and it's the same one that Evelyn uses for her swearing in and for her officers. No, there's not.
Okay.
I talked to both Joette and to Jackie, and neither one of them had anything they could give me.
I think Guy did a swearing in at one point where it was
Yes,
a
he did.
flower of each color of
Yeah.
flower, and for each one.
Right. I remember that one.
Talk
I
about
thought
yellow
Noel liked
devotion, red is for this, pink.
Right.
Gave it real quick, and it wasn't very long, about a sentence for each one, and that was it. And Lucy probably has that.
Yes, I didn't use Guy's, although I can't remember if I think she said Guy had done one, but I don't have his, but I'll be glad to give you what Evelyn gave me and what I used. But I know Joette and Jackie both said, no, they did not have a copy of anything that was used. They left it up to the person that was doing the swearing in.
Noel, I thought I sent you something when I sent the whole bunch of stuff.
Maybe you did, and you sent me so much
Like a
stuff. That's it right here.
It was like a 2-page thing, and I think it was when Mary Ellen was sworn in.
Okay, I'll double check, but Rita, if you'll send me that, I'll let my husband take a little creative license, and he's very excited about
Sure.
doing it.
That'd be good.
Okay.
Well, there's certainly been a longer, better swearing in. So ours was quick, and because we were about 5 months behind since we didn't do it at the new board meeting, we just had to integrate it. But yeah, I did go through that.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I
We've got
wasn't
a lot of leeway.
cool. That'll
Well,
work.
anything anybody'd like to say? We didn't do our coffee chat this month, and I will tell you, I missed it. those became kind of a link to an outside link and for me, and I appreciated so much everybody participating. We ended up doing 10. The last one was in June, but the only months we didn't hold one were the August and in April. And I think for me, it was a way of maintaining some kind of contact and some kind of momentum and not just hanging on till the next meeting. So my feeling was, I think now that we're all able to attend meetings and our organizations are beginning to get together again, and our next meeting will not be a Zoom meeting. I'm sure we'll be all together in April. I enjoyed them and I will miss them.
Yeah. It was a great idea. It was a good idea and it kept everybody informed. It was
It was
good.
just nice to
Thank
see
you,
you and
Rita.
find out what you were doing, and I like that.
It was
But
good.
anything else anybody would like to say?
Noelle, are you going to continue to have, maybe not every month, but
Yeah, I was just thinking it might be kind of fun to have maybe like a pop-up Zoom get together, like a potluck or a, a happy hour type Zoom.
because it's a long time from August to
It is. It
April.
is. I don't want, maybe not necessarily something that's formalized, but saying, we're going to get together on X day, one of the newsletters. And
We were able sometimes to take little straw votes or find out what people were feeling about something that we wanted to do or think about doing, and just maintaining a little bit of contact instead of the formal setting of a meeting room, I thought made me feel more comfortable with things that as we moved forward, not assume a lot, but know that people wanted to do it or were thinking it might work. So
yeah,
I think a interim, just now and then.
absolutely. Maybe kind of maybe a pop-up idea bouncing type Zoom of people's ideas and don't have stupid questions or, things that I.
I think it's
Sounds
especially
good.
people who don't travel to the meetings that they're able to at least.
And I do think we didn't say anything about that, but I think we should, I really feel like there were people that participated that we might have really not had any word from or had any idea what if they wanted to stay involved, that did want to be involved, and maybe not every time, but enjoyed just seeing everybody that they had either met or had read something about and could do it through Zoom. So I'd like to see us keep doing that.
Okay.
Okay, well, then,
Great.
good to see you all. See you in
Alrighty.
about 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.
very
Take
much.
care. Bye.
For all your help so far, and I will be knocking on doors to ask for more help, I'm sure. It's been
And I'll
great.
get with you this weekend, Noel. You'll hear from me. We'll set
Okay.
up time. And I don't worry about if you're not available. I'll just leave it with my daughter, and you could go by at your convenience and pick it
Yeah.
up.
We were actually going to go to New Orleans on Monday, but the COVID rate there has just gone
Oh, you don't want to
skyrocketed.
go there.
And it's going to rain the entire time. So we said, let's just save our pennies. So I'll be around all next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right, guys.
Bye,
Take
everybody.
care. Bye. Bye-bye.